Welcome back to Omnifactory, and just a quick follow-up from the end of last episode. Just after sort of recording last episode, I saw, just by complete coincidence, because I know Direwolf has probably picked up this this pack at this point, I saw Rorax on Twitter. She'd pretty much commented what a lot of you guys had commented as well, saying, yeah, you know that limited filter onto this craft? Well, it turns out GregTech has robot arms that let you input things to just put one stack in or putting things into just one of these slots. Haven't actually used it, and apparently you use a screwdriver as well, so I'm going to go and test it out, but not just yet. But thanks very much to all the commenters and to Rorax. If you ever watch the video, then yes, indeed, I need to actually check out robot arms as far as they work with GregTech. However, this seems to be working quite well on its own. We've now got up into tier, or the superior tier, and that gives us a 20% chance of getting pristine matter. And of course we have, well, 500 more attempts to actually go for that one. And this one is now on advanced tier, so that'll give us a 10% chance of pristine. But again, how many of these do we have? 184 to go. So yeah, this thing is quite efficient. I did want to mention one other thing as well. In addition to using prismatics, you can also go with the diamond route. So the diamond gives you more RF than prismatic, but you have to go via a different one of these. You have to go by I think the Shulker data model. Let's just take a look at the Shulker one. Shulker data model. And that, you have to go by the pristine Shulker matter, and it gives you diamonds. And then, of course, diamonds probably a bit more useful than prismarine, so that's probably one thing to actually do. But, of course, you can then use them and burn them in there. And there's nothing really in here that gives you an indication that you can do that, but you should be able to, because this thing can burn gems. As far as I know, this thing's like, it's about a difference of about like 4.9 million versus 7 point something million between prismarine. Oh, there we go. We can tell exactly how much RF each one of them gives. I can't really tell that. I suppose I could put one diamond in, I guess, but I really want that diamond. Anyway, once we scale this system up, we'll just generate diamonds as well. We know once we get these to the higher tiers, we should start getting enough resources looping around, particularly the ender pearls, that this whole thing will just keep itself going really quite comfortably. You know, once it actually gets to the point where we're generating more ender pearls than anything else, this will either never really empty. So we'll never really need that robot arm once the system is going fast enough. And that's one thing for me to realize why I don't need to look at robot arms. I don't need to, not this episode anyway. So, but I will do it. We did want to look at this episode at our quests. We have to get further into AE before we get blocked by polyethylene, so we may as well do the precursor quests and see how far we go. Yes, you can build a meteorite compass, and that will let us get to a meteorite impact, which then has a, you know, but we're already able to craft the items we needed for those, that being these, the inscription plates, so I'm not going to worry too much about having to go for a meteor just yet. I may make the compass a little bit later. What's the meteorite compass in terms of resources? It's not too hard to make. It's just 4 pieces of coal, 4 dark steel, and a charged Certus quartz crystal, and we'll have most of those. Just dark steel that takes a little bit of time. However, what we're going to do instead, at least to start, is make a couple of these electric pistons, and we're then going to upgrade this, an MV machine hull, with some dark steel plate and a flux crystal to get ourselves an Inscriber, which should get us the quest, which is the next one in the series, and unlock a bunch of other stuff over here. So you'll see ME interfaces, crafting units, and 4K item storage. So that's the quest. We'll just take that back. Thank you very much. And then we just need to look at the various processors and what we need for those. So let's take a look. Processors. And as you might imagine, they need the GregTech circuits to make them. But we should be okay with tier 1. Any tier 1, in fact. Is that the same for all of them? Yeah, it is. Good. So we're just going to need lots of tier 1 circuits. We are, however, also going to need, that's the final ingredient, we're going to need the printed calculation circuits. So that's going to need Certus quartz plates, and they can be compressed from Certus quartz dust, and we've already made that in the past. How about you? Diamond, ooh, that's expensive. Yeah. Remember when I said we could probably wait for diamonds? We should probably get a Shulker model built at some point. And presumably this is gold. Yeah, just a gold plate. So if I didn't need need the diamond one too often. That will be good, but it is kind of used for a bunch of different things. Crafting co-processing units among it. We're not going to need spatial components yet. Is there anything else in here that it specifically needs? It needs 2 of them for the Advanced Inscriber, but 2 diamonds isn't too much of a problem. The Advanced Inscriber is nice because it lets you put stacks of stuff in rather than just single items, which is the basic Inscriber does. And of course, each of these is not terribly hard to make. We are going to need silicon plates, but I would assume that's just... can we just smelt up silicon dust? We can, so we can just make those quite easily. So we need to make at least 1 of each of these. So let's just go and put this... put it down here, and hopefully that supplies power. That says 0 AE, but I think they have problems with that until you actually put the ingredients in. So let's just get some circuits and get this sorted. No, we can't actually make it. Well, we don't have any circuits yet. I think there they go. Yeah, let's not convert them all into processors, but we have a few, and that can go in the middle there. So we're just going to need some silicon dust if we have it. Yeah, let's just take 10 of you and just convert them over. And then just some gold. Whoops, that's C. We want gold, not cold. Yeah, let's get 10 of those. Diamonds, I'm just going to make 1. We are not going to process all the diamonds. And then we want some Certus. Certus quartz dust doesn't seem to be what I remember it saying. Hang on. Certus quartz plate, Certus quartz dust. But that's the GregTech version. Not necessarily, so we want Certus quartz from the pulverizer, maybe? Maybe. Yep, that would seem to be it. So if we just take the regular Certus from here, let's get 10 of that. And we'll put that through the pulverizer. They're going to give me it. There we go. 10. Pulverizer, you can go there. This can be smelted up, silicon dust. Okay, and we'll make those into some plates. The macerator is really fast on that kind of thing. So what do we need to process them for the next thing for that? It is just a compressor as well. So we just need to wait for those. Let's get 2, 3. There we go. And that's still quite slow. I was hoping that would be much faster. Regardless, we've got silicon, we've got diamond. The diamond needs to go in there as well. Did I actually need this into... there we go. Yeah, so Certus quartz plate, 1 of a diamond, and let's just get 1 gold plate as well, and we should be ready to go. And there we go, that's working as expected. It produces printed silicon from silicon plates. You can't put more than 1 in here, unfortunately, so yeah, we are having to wait a little bit for that to happen. One thing I would like to do at some point here is make sure I install a buffer of some kind, because AE tends to need that buffer before we get to putting lots of stuff into our ME terminals. So at some point, yeah, we will need that buffer to happen, and probably somewhere just before here for a capacitor will do just fine. Let's get that out, and then we just can get the other presses, which we'll just put in here for now, and get those converted. So that's the printed silicon. We need the gold one, which is going to be the engineering, or is it logic? I never remember. Well, we'll just... that's fine. We'll just do trial and error. There we go. So that's gone. This one can go in. Logic. Yeah, logic's the gold one. And finally, calculation. Calculation, so this quartz plate, and we're ready to go with the final assembly. Final assembly just going to need 3 circuits. 3 circuits. And we'll do exactly the same thing again. So there's our engineering processor. We'll put this in the middle, and we'll just get both of those done. That's going to be our calculation processor. And finally, our logic processor. Yep, and where's that other printed silicon? There we go. 2. And 3. Okay, there we go. 3. So that should be all 3 of the quests done. Yep, so that should probably start making noise. And we'll just get all 3 of them handed in. And of course, knowing my luck, we'll probably need 2 or 3 of them for the next step. Regardless, the next thing over is ME interfaces and crafting units. ME interfaces is probably the more important one, and certainly when we get to auto crafting, they're one of the first items you should actually craft. And we then have a few things like the crafting terminals following on from that. So let's start with the ME interface. Let's see how expensive or bad it is. ME interface. It is... okay. Formation cores and annihilation cores both need logic processors. Remember when I said you need 2 of those things? Yep. But thankfully it is the gold one, not the diamond one, because I'm running out of diamonds. And then an MV robot arm, and I haven't really created one of those yet, but I've created all the other components here. We need a processor, we need a couple of electric motors, and that's lots of just copper and steel and other kinds of bits and pieces. The piston is something we've already made as well, so that's more of the same, and that gets us 1 interface. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, so we're going to need to make some of this stuff. And it's all aluminium. So if I haven't already been extracting aluminium from terracotta and other things, then we should be doing that. Regardless, in fact, we don't even need terracotta anymore. We've got the clay being generated infinitely over there. So I'll get on and craft a couple of those things. In particular, we're going to craft 1 interface. The crafting units... well, it needs a molecular assembler and a crafting unit. Let's just see if any of those are problematic. So crafting units, and of course they get modified to the co-processing units. So they are going to need multiple processors. Yes, okay. ME glass cable and aluminium plate. That's not too bad. And then that engineering processor will make the crafting co-processing unit. You need a multiple of these, unfortunately. So we are going to want to get one of those shulker models set up. As soon as this starts generating enough ender pearls for this to remain perfectly stocked. You can see right now that's already happening. We're already getting enough out of this at 20% for this to be actually fast enough never to deplete. So cool. That's nice and straightforward. I'm off to go and craft some more stuff. And with the miscellaneous crafting done for the medium voltage robot arm, we're just left to finish with the rest that we haven't actually crafted before. So we'll just get a couple, well, let's get 2 batches of each of the formation and annihilation cores. And they are made with the gold processors, so that's relatively straightforward. And you just need 1 of each for this interface. And there is our first interface. Good. And we should be able to get a quest complete from that. Thank you very much. And we're on to the next thing, or at least we're available to get the next thing. Don't really need interface terminals just yet, unless I have actually got some auto crafting, I suppose. Yeah, so we're not there yet. Regardless, crafting units is next up, as well as storage buses and other bits and pieces like that. I suppose I should also craft the advanced Inscriber. That would save me a little bit of effort, but not too much. What was the recipe for that again? It's the diamonds. Oh, go on. Well, I suppose we need to make 2 hoppers as well. Okay, I'm going to need to go and get some more diamonds regardless. Yeah, how many nickel do we have? We have 14. It would take 10 to buy some diamonds. I'm going to have to set up that shulker model, aren't I? But I'll do that off camera. I just take a look at the update on this outside, by the way. And it's been about, I guess, an hour while I've been doing other stuff. And yeah, I mean, this is full of polymer clay. This is full of polymer clay. This is full of polymer clay, and it's backed up to a stack and a half. So I think this is going to be pretty worthwhile. Please do craft this if you're playing this pack, at least to get prismarine, if not diamond. So we're going to have to think about diamond further on from that. Okay, so what's the next thing up aside from the Inscriber that doesn't require diamonds then? Why don't we take a look at, well, the crafting terminal is along this sort of route, so why don't we take a look at crafting units? Because crafting units are the other sort of requirements to the molecular assembler. Ooh, in fact, hang on, have we checked what the molecular assembler needs? Molecular assembler. That needs a formation cores and annihilation cores. Good, I've made those. Quartz glass, that's simple. That's just nether quartz in a furnace or an alloy smelter. Aluminium plate. So the only thing left is a crafter, and all of that looks like stuff we've created apart from maybe the industrial machine chassis. That's all stuff we've created before. Now that I have a vacuum chest available, or can make them, I can go and put that downstairs, chunk load it at the bedrock level, and have that pull in those grains of infinity. Haven't done it yet, but I can actually do that when they're actually needed. And they're going to be needed fairly soon for this whole thing, but we don't need to get molecular assemblers, perhaps until we're able to craft the patterns, which is going to be the blocker to this whole thing. So we can just carry on through the quests here then. Let's take a look at the crafting units again. So crafting units. And we'll probably need a few of these, which is why this is not too bad though, because it's logic and calculation. Calculation is just Certus quartz. So I've got some of the prerequisites here, and I made some of them up already, so we've got 4 of each already, but that's not a great amount in the grand scheme of things. So to get this started, we just need, you know, well, basically, do I have any glass cable? Glass cable? Glass cable, no. Do I have an easy ability to create, do I have any quartz fiber? Quartz? I do have quartz fiber, and that's handy because the rest is just flux dust. Give me the quartz fiber. Come on. Come on. Okay, finally. So we just combine that with some flux dust. We've got half of that there in our alloy smelter, and they can just produce us some glass cable. So that'll do that job. We just need a few more aluminium plates. So let's get those crafted. 8 of those should do, at least for now. And the rest we actually have. So we can just grab I think I'm going to grab maybe just 1 batch for this thing, because we'll just do it for the quest, and then we can craft whatever we need to later once we get through the quests. More quests we get, the more Omni pennies we get, and the more ability I have to go and purchase stuff. So for example, I've got like I've got enough for like 16 diamond ore from this. However, you can't sell it except in batches of 10, so we have to actually spend 10, unfortunately. So let's just get these, and we can just shift click this in. So there's one of our crafting units. That's one of the quests done. And we actually have to craft a molecular assembler for the other one. So it's a good thing I actually just checked that out. Molecular, it's going to need a couple more of these, other bits and pieces. But in here, I guess I'm going to have to go and craft some more. I need 4 infinity grains of infinity. I need 6 of them. Yeah, 6 grains of infinity. I'm almost certain I won't have 6 grains of infinity. What do you want to bet? INF. Yeah. So I have a bimetal gear, so I have 1 of them. So I only need 4 rather than 6, I think. Yeah, I only need 4 rather than 6, but I still actually need those 6. So let me just remind myself what I need for a vacuum chest, because that will be nice. Pulsating crystal is a diamond, some pulsating iron in the autoclave, and that requires a little bit of reworking for the autoclave, but I guess I can sort that one out. We just need to empty it from water and then rework this to basically send stuff out. So do I have any pulsating iron? Pulsating, yes, I have 1. Not sure if 1's going to be enough, but let's grab that and maybe some pulsating dust. Let's just knock this out of the way and put it back down. I'm not sure if there's a way to actually just like shift click these to empty them. That would be kind of nice if you could do that. And then we just need to rejig this to be not inserting there and to be inserting here instead. And then put the pulsating iron in that way. And then was the rest just a diamond again? It was just a diamond. So we're nearly out of diamonds. I need to go and actually dig more or set up that shulker pattern. There we go. 1 diamond. And that is converted across directly. Good. Just 1 of each. So that generally just needs a chest and a bit of iron. Assuming I've got any iron left. Yeah, we've got a little bit of iron left. I guess I should go get some more of that as well, but we can just spend Omni Nickel for that. It's far, far easier than anything else. And let's just get a chest. And that should be that. Okay, give me the chest, please. Go on. There we go. We just shift click all of this in. And 1 vacuum chest. And in about 10 minutes or so, that's set up downstairs. Now that has a vacuum chest, produced like 20 odd grains of infinity. So that's going to be more than good enough for anything we want to do. I want to upgrade to this ender hook fairly soon, but it requires a few more diamonds. But it apparently is fast, very, very fast. So yeah, I would like a faster version of my hook, but we're not going to do that just yet. One thing that's worth upgrading. Some other things, by the way, if you're following along, I've not done them yet, but the mega torch is probably worthwhile doing once again. We have some more diamonds. It's the story of my life this episode, and that's going to just stop things from spawning, of course, a little bits and pieces. One other tip that I did see is that your scanner, I think, let's just grab a module out of it, the block module. Yep, that block module. One thing I wanted to try is, will you let me choose chests? You will. Okay. So if I can choose chests, that means effectively I can scan for chests. Yep. Which means anywhere in this cityscape, if I want to know if there's something worth looting in a building, I can see if there's something worth looting in a building without actually going in there. I like it. I like it a lot. That should really help with the exploration and hopefully getting some of the good items from there. But just thought I'd mention it as that's something you should probably do as well. So let's get on with the molecular assembler. Where are we? Molecular. And let's get that done. So in here we have, let's see, we need to build a crafter first, which needs some infinity bimetal gear. So first of all, we need to just make that. So the iron gear and a couple of you will make the second infinity bimetal gear. And then we need to upgrade a machine chassis, which is what I've got here. And then we need to upgrade that with another couple. Let's just grab you. Another couple of our grains of infinity. And you need 5 grains of infinity. I said 4, but you need a 5th one for that recipe we've just gone through. So that should be pretty quick. Yep, so that's 1, 2, and then the bimetal gear. I think we've got another one in the system, I think I said, so I didn't need to craft another one. Bimetal. There we go. And then what's the rest of it? We need some resonating redstone. For that, we're going to need some ender shards, and you can just convert over an ender pearl to get some ender shards, and have your alloy smelter again, just craft that. So let's put you and you in there, and that they will start crafting them. We'll pop you down along with the couple of bimetal gears. And then we just need 4 aluminium plates, which is going to be straightforward as well. Okay, 4 of you. A couple of pieces of quartz glass, which I have. Yeah, quartz glass. Oh, hang on. Does fused glass count? Wait, what am I building? No, that's the wrong recipe. Let's get this right the first time. We just need 3 of you in the bottom, and then we just need a compressed crafting table. So we're just going to need to craft 9 normal crafting tables from wood, planks, whatever. So let's just see, 9 times 4. So there we go. Get all of those. And that should be easier to craft. Anything else? I think we're pretty much done there. We should get everything else pretty easily. So put those in, 9 crafting tables. And then we'll just use the spread key, 1 compressed crafting table. And then we should already be done with those in our alloy smelter. There we go. So there is our crafter. We can put this net right next door in here. I think it's in there. Is that not right? Quartz glass? Fused quartz. I made fused quartz. I need quartz glass. That needs glass and surface quartz dust. Entirely wrong thing. However, fused quartz is handy for other things as well. So that's fine. Surface quartz dust again as previous. So surface quartz dust. Let's just get 10 of that. And we just need some regular glass as well. So let's see if there's 10 of that in there. There it is. And I already had some surface quartz actually. So I'll just convert that up into dust and use our glass to upgrade it. So let's just get that macerated. And let's finish it off. There we go. 2 quartz. Molecular assembler. That quest should be done. Good. Crafting units. So yeah, we can claim all of you and put those away along with other things. And let's take a look at the quest. So heading across here now, we're able to take the ME crafting terminal quest. So let's just take that. It's probably just the upgrade from the regular crafting terminal. So let's just take a look at crafting terminal. And hopefully you are going to be easy. Yeah, a calculation processor, the terminal, a crafting table. So let's just get 4 more pieces of wood. And that should be okay. I've got another one of the calculation processors. So that's pretty simple. And that should be that upgraded. And let's put just a couple of bits and pieces away and take this off. Then we should be able to upgrade all of this. 1, 2, 3. And there's our ME crafting terminal. That was an easy quest by comparison to the rest. Yep. And let's just put it back. I do much prefer the ME crafting terminal to the previous stuff. So there we are. And what I normally like to do with here is to have the small, there we go, the small terminal rather than anything else. Nice, exactly as we expect to see it. Good. And I still haven't crafted any more of the crystals yet, but we don't have to worry about that. We'll get to it soon enough, because that's one of the next quests. So we're going to have to get into interface terminals, fluid crafting terminals. We've made those kind of things before, so I'm not going to cover those on camera. And next episode, maybe we'll get to 4K item storage. Now, I know for a fact that we've made an interface, we've made a molecular assembler, and those are the first things that require or are required for auto crafting. If I just, well, the things that carry out auto crafting, if you put it that way. So if I was to put this there and then this there, technically that is now capable of auto crafting if we had patterns and if we had the crafting coprocessors. So the crafting units, there they are, these, it can make crafting storage, which you need one type of. So for example, you could have 1K crafting storage or 4K. What we'll make is at least a 4K, I think, because 4K is an upcoming quest. And that's just using the second tier 2 circuits. That's fine. And we've got everything else. The 1K is just the tier 1 circuit. So you can imagine all of this we can actually make fairly easy. So you definitely need the crafting storage, and you're going to need some crafting co-processing units. I've said this in previous playthroughs as well, but if you want to know how to actually do that, you can probably just not bother with it. All you have to do is remember you're making a multi-block. So it has to be a cuboid of some kind. So it could be 3x3, it could be 2x3, but you couldn't have it like 2x3 and then one on top. You know, it'd have to be some sort of solid cube of some kind, a cuboid. So you're going to want one crafting storage, some co-processing units, and that's it. Now you can also put a crafting monitor in them as one of the units. It depends. You can always view it from an interface, from a terminal anywhere in the system by clicking this button, the crafting status button, and see what's currently crafting in there. So you don't really need that crafting monitor. It's sometimes handy visually. Normally what I have is 8 of these and 1 crafting storage, and a 64K crafting storage on an easier pack would be the one I'd normally choose, but that's tier 4 circuits. We're not getting that anytime soon. So you have to go for maybe something like 4K crafting storage instead. However, if before we get to all of that, you need to put patterns into place. And you'll have a pattern terminal and other bits and pieces, but patterns. This is our challenge for next episode, because we are approaching, I think, the end of this episode. So we should probably delay this one. And this will leave you all a chance to comment. I think we may be able to get through it from sugarcane. I've said before, we've got infinite sugarcane effectively now, so that's not going to be a problem. Blank patterns need silver wire. Silver's easy. Polyethylene sheets is going to be the hardest one, and it needs a tier 3 circuit. Now we haven't done tier 3 circuits yet, so there is a few of those. Now the one that we saw in the previous episode is, I think, this one. Yeah, electronic processor array. We can craft basically all of that apart from this integrated circuit. So next episode, one of the first things we're going to have to do is create a cutting saw, advanced cutting machine, on MV upstairs. And then from that, we'll also have to do, let's just see, we have to make the wafers. So the wafers is also on an advanced cutting machine. Yes. So only one machine for both of those. That's really nice. And of course, we can take that monocrystalline silicon boule that we made last episode and then use it to be cut into wafers. So one of those boules will make 16 wafers, which in turn, with a red lens, will make 16 integrated circuit wafers, which will then make 8 circuits. So we need 2 per tier 3, so that will basically, one boule is equal to 4 tier 3 circuits. So we're going to have to make quite a few of them, but yeah, not too much of a bother. And 4 of these tier 2s means 16 tier 1 circuits. So yeah, there's quite a few, which means for 4 of these, you're going to need a full stack of tier 1 circuits. So yeah, it's quite a few. However, that's not the only thing. We also have to make the polyethylene sheets. Now, polyethylene we're going to go and just make the polyethylene itself, and that goes into fluid solidifier with a mold. The mold should be straightforward. We've made those before. So the polyethylene, we just have to work backwards. Chemical reactor, and we have ethylene and oxygen. That would seem to be nice and easy. Ethylene and air, effectively the same thing. There's no other recipe that we... No. No. We don't want titanium tetrachloride. Thank you very much. Ethylene is bad enough. So that just means one chemical reactor. So that's just a machine to craft, which is nothing too excessive. And from that, we're going to get the precursor. Now that's going to go through a distillery. So this is going to be probably another episode where I'm crafting lots of GregTech machines. And we've already done one episode last time where I crafted like 10 of them. So yeah, we have to choose something in here that we can make. And none of those seem to be good, apart from wood gas. So wood gas to ethylene is just a program circuit, and it needs 64 AEU per tick. That, I think, is a problem on low voltage, so we may want to go to medium voltage as an upgrade to our basically... Well, no, hang on, this is in distillery. This isn't in the multi-block. We could make a distillation tower. The wood gas itself is generated from charcoal byproducts, but we can get it straight out of the pyrolyzer oven if we wanted to from wood. That by itself is not a medium voltage thing. It's just a medium voltage to get from wood gas to the ethylene. So this stage needs to be medium voltage, which means we can just dump that machine upstairs with everything else. There's no problem. We'll just put it outside with the other automatic processing stuff. Nice and straightforward. However, that does then mean we need to basically get wood gas. And that means I probably should at some point upgrade our pyrolyzer oven. More importantly than that, however, we're going to need I think a wood farm, because I don't want to have to keep basically crafting this. We're going to need that wood gas continually to produce ethylene, I think. At some point we can probably start out with a batch of wood, and we'll see how far we get. It just needs steam into our pyrolyzer oven, which is what we've already got, and just a different circuit. We've already got this set up, so we can just get the wood gas straight away. We just have to pipe that somewhere else, and that's what we have to craft the rest of the GregTech machines next episode. And you know, you've just seen the rest of the process. So yeah, we can actually do that. Is there any other way of getting ethylene that we can get to? Let me just double check through this. And yeah, I think I mentioned this process previously as well. The other way of getting it is via the chemical reactor. We get ethylene and diluted sulfuric acid, and that then is coming back through ethanol, which we can get from biomass effectively, which is from sugarcane. So we can get biomass straight from pretty much any plant material through a brewing machine. So both of those are options. And since we have sugarcane by effectively huge amounts, that might be an interesting option. We do, however, need to make the sulfuric acid. And do we have anything to make that? Let's just have a look. Sulfuric acid, we need just water and sulfur dust. And sulfur dust we can get from blaze matter. We haven't got that set up yet. Do I have any other means of getting sulfur dust? Well, a lot of sulfur dust, put it that way. Probably. There's probably something in here in the electrolyzer that will get me sulfur dust easily. So that's the other option. Haven't decided which one yet. Maybe you want to make comments down below if you've done that yourself in your own worlds. So that's the end of today's episode. In between, I'm going to probably go and craft the automatic diamonds. We've got more than enough resources here to basically supply another set of these. And because this Guardian data model doesn't actually need that much power, you'll see this is full, basically, permanently now. It's then running faster than this one. You'll see they're both on superior, even though this one started a lot earlier. And that's pretty good. So the fact this takes less power effectively to run through this, it's basically running faster, just means I can start up another one and get the Shulker data model going, and then hopefully start to get some diamonds from that. We'll add another box up here. Also, between the episodes, I'm going to make a start on crafting any of the low voltage machine casing, the machine hulls, etc., the medium voltage ones, and then we'll assemble a new chain, probably with a couple of medium voltage machines upstairs, one outside, maybe one inside, because we want the cutting machine on the inside, the automatic production out here, so it's going to be above that block somewhere, and we'll route some wood gas to it, or whatever we decide to use maybe, and then we'll have the whole chain for production of polyethylene, essentially. So we've got to get through that. Once we get the polyethylene, though, we're able to craft patterns. And once we craft patterns, although it's going to be expensive, I mean, we get 8 patterns for each of these. So, you know, for a full stack of tier 1 circuits, we'll get 32 blank patterns. So it's a fair trade, given what patterns we'll actually enable. We need to then be able to get the system to be able to start crafting all of the prerequisites to make more molecular assemblers, more interfaces, because we don't have to worry about channels, remember, and probably more the processing units and stuff like that. And then we'll be into full AE2. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Well, hopefully you'll join me for that, and we'll see you next episode for some more Omnifactory. If you want to get more notifications of when these episodes are out, click on the bell below. Otherwise, leave comments for other people who play through. There are lots and lots of comments, and some of the comments that I've already mentioned today about the little tips have come from commenters. Things like the Megatorch, the Ender Hook I've not tried yet. If some of you have, maybe let me know how overpowered it is. Once I get diamonds set up, we should be able to do this, because it just takes a little bit of Ender Pearl, Blaze Powder. We can already make that. This section is not too hard. It's just mainly I need a few diamonds to actually get it going. But yeah, we'll see how overpowered that is next episode. Until then, as always, guys, thanks for watching.